I request everyone to acknowledge the presence of the person sitting next to you with a smile. According to research, smiling helps to increase the blood circulation, decrease the blood pressure, and manage the heartbeats. This is called upon Sergeant at Arms. Please switch off or put your mobile on silent mode. Sir, don't walk in the middle. Move only when you hear applause. This disturbs both the speaker and the listener. Different from talking about sex, religion, and politics. Akbar and Birbal was walking in the field. They were enjoying the cold weather. Two neighbors approached Akbar. And please, Your Majesty, I brought a well from this man. Now he is saying me to pay for the water in it. And the neighbor told, Your Majesty, I sold only the well, not the water in it. Akbar was confused, asked Birbal to solve the problem. Birbal was quiet for some time and asked the neighbor, You sold only the well, not the water. The neighbor replied, Yes, Your Highness. Birbal solved the problem in the simplest way by asking the neighbor to pay the rent for the water in the well or to take the water from it. The neighbor was confused and said, No problem, no Majesty, he can keep the well and the water for himself, and then he went home with shame. Now, I am introducing a person who is calm and composed. I never saw him angry or tense in any situation, especially in the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I don't know about how he is in home. Please help me in welcoming one of the youngest president of our club, Toastmaster Shashank Bhatt.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kullappan, for a wonderful introduction. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club. Can you give a round of applause for ourselves for being here? I call to order meeting number 1392 of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. The minutes of the previous meeting, 1391, was shared with all the members by our Secretary Suhas. Are there any amendments to the same? If not, I pass the minutes of meeting number 1391. Do we have any first time guests amongst us today? Can I see a show of hands? Can you please stand and introduce yourself and tell us how you found this club, who you are, what do you get to know this club? Please.
Hello everyone, my name is Sushil Goswami and I am coming from Naxandra. Currently, I shifted to Bangalore last year in June, and I am currently working as a sales specialist in ABB. And for Toastmasters, many of my friends are already associated with Toastmasters, and already I have watched many videos of the same club on YouTube. So I got inspired to join this club because I want to become good in public speaking and develop my business skills.
Welcome. Thank you. Can you please stand there and introduce yourself?
My name is Srinidhi. I'm a procurement manager at DB Shankar, and many of my friends have been in Toastmasters, and they said, why don't you go here and try?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Janakeshwar. I'm chartered accountant profession actually, and in fact I was inspired by Gangadhar Krishna, who is always actually calling me for the Toastmaster, but I skipped many meetings. But today I made it. So I want to improve my communication skills.
I'm sure you won't disappoint today.
actually never. So I just got to know from Google itself. And when I see the lot of feedback and review, then the review is very good. So just like I did first.
Welcome. Yeah, can you please introduce yourself?
I am Dr. Ahmed Khan. I am a physician. I just heard about Toastmasters and so I came here.
Welcome. Members, what do you welcome us? While we acknowledge the presence of the first time guests, it's also worth acknowledging members who have come after a long time. For example, we have Toastmaster Rashi, DTM Sumitra, Toastmaster Jeevan. It's good to see you back. And more than you learning from us, it's also we learning from you. So make it a point to attend meetings so that we learn from each other. Yes? Can you have a round of applause them as well? I would like to tell you a story about someone who was born in a remote village in Karnataka. He struggled during his childhood. He even sold milk and vegetables to fund his schools. He came to Bangalore when I was just a tiny toddler, when I was 1 year old, in 1993. And when he came to Bangalore, he was not comfortable talking to people as well. He didn't have a proper job. He did some small servicing jobs here and there, kept it in place. When he approached his landlord started coming to a Toastmasters Club, and this person came along with the landlord. Why did he do that? Because when you know you have a problem, how do you address it? By facing the issue. There is no need to complicate things. But when we know that we have a problem, if we don't work towards finding a solution, there is no point. And there is no point in breaking our heads and thinking too much about what can this be or what can that be. Sometimes simple problems may have simple solutions. Why are we here? As we heard from the first time guests as well, we are here to improve public speaking skills, our vocabulary, to conquer our stage fear. And when we know we have this issue, how do we tackle it? By coming on stage. And to come on stage, we need to come to the clubs, right? This gentleman started coming to the club along with his landlord. And he tells us that from being a novice, he was no one when he came to Bangalore. He then started leading teams across the globe. He was also an entrepreneur who started his own company, which was later taken over by another company as well. So ladies and gentlemen, what did we learn from him? He had the issue of talking to people, communicating with others, but simple problem required simple solution, and what better platform than a Toastmasters Club? Yes? So we all are here to learn something new from people on stage as well as off stage. So when we come to the club, not necessarily by coming on stage, by sitting there, looking at others speak, talking to other guests and members, we can learn a lot. And that is what that gentleman did. Do you know who's the landlord I'm talking about? Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza. And do you know who was that Toastmaster who cut the Gordian knot, kept it simple, attended the Toastmasters meetings at Bangalore Toastmasters Club, and became someone of that caliber? Whom am I talking about?
Great Somshakhar.
Toastmaster Somshakhar. So ladies and gentlemen, at Bangalore Toastmasters Club, from my experience of the last couple of years, I have seen people transform firsthand. I have seen people who struggle to speak and them winning Best Speakers Awards as well later on. When you put in your effort, when you put in that tiny effort again, results will be there for others to see. You introduce the Toastmaster of the day today. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Somshakhar.
Toastmasters and dear guests, September 1st. What a month August was, right? Out of the many milestones we achieved, Chandrayaan 3, we got a parking lot at south of moon, right? And Toastmasters, there were 9 Toastmasters who celebrated their birthday in August. That is 10% of the Toastmasters. That includes Mr. Joe Paul. And looking at the wishes, the way he used to send it, on August 29th, on Onam Day, I was sure that Priyanka and Jose will invite us to the Onam Sunday. That didn't happen. Instead, she sends me a message saying that the thief is cut the Gordian knot. Now, I knew only one knot. In 1996, I tied it for December 12th. Still going strong. Then I had to Google, what is this knot about? And then, as soon as I Googled it, well, I knew what it was all about. And I remember this story of this boy, my favorite story. As in, this small boy used to walk home every day from school, and one day he found a cocoon. Now, he knew how a butterfly emerges out of the cocoon. So he took it home and kept it near his desk, and every morning he used to just watch it as the butterfly come out. But no, one day, 2 days, 3 days, nothing happened. On the fourth day, he saw a small hole in that. He was very excited. He thought today the butterfly is coming out of it. But again nothing happened. Another 2 days he waited, but now he could see a small insect moving around, and it was really trying to come out of that hole. The boy could not wait any longer. He took a pair of scissors and cut open the cocoon. He was indeed very kind. He just couldn't see the struggle. What happened was that this worm which came out, it had crippled wings. It could not fly. It was just crawling around. In reality, nature has designed in such a way that this insect has to struggle inside the cocoon and squeeze itself out to that hole. That's when the fluid which is contained there, it gets out and the wings will be able to fly. That's nature's way. So, I personally feel whenever we use a shortcut, that's what Alexander said, you need to be really judicious. You need to know the side effects of that. And then, yes, many times shortcuts yield you great result, but then your wisdom is very important. Now we get wisdom, talking to people. They say, sit with a scientist for 10 minutes and you will know the enormity of your ignorance. Sit with a good teacher for 10 minutes and you would want to be a student again. Some people are laughing actually. The next what I'm going to say, but everyone will agree, and if you agree, make a lot of sense. Sit for 10 minutes with your wife and you will know you are the most useless person on earth. Right? Well, Toastmasters, here, come to Bangalore Toastmasters Club, spend that 120 minutes every Friday, and then you will realize what potential you got. It's a place to unleash your energy, right? And there are people here to encourage you, to give you an applause for whatever you do, and you will move at least few feet closer to your dream, towards your dream or ambition. That's what a Toastmaster meeting does. Thanks to Dr. Ralph Pendley, who started this movement called Toastmasters, and for the benefit of guests, he has laid a framework on how a meeting should be conducted. Most important part of this meeting, we call it as an evaluation session. So this is where one of the member, usually a senior member, he gives a feedback, or there are evaluators for speakers as well, but this person we call him a general evaluator. Now, I'm very sure when you saw this theme, many of you would have Googled and you know what it really means, right? Alexander with the sword, cut the knot, right? Now, the general evaluator for today, I thought he's got some very similar a lot of similarities. How many countries did Alexander conquer? Well, I also don't know. A few of them. But then, this gentleman has visited 36 countries and he has helped people visit many more. He has helped them to reach every part of the world because he is in travel industry. He's been in this industry for 30 long years. He's an entrepreneur. He's got his own company. Now I was wondering, why didn't he really conquer these countries? Then I realized they don't leave the sword, in the checking baggage. I think maybe that's the reason he could not carry his sword. Else he would have conquered. There are Toastmasters. He's a 2-time president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Division 8 director, and he was also a media director. Put your hands together to the general evaluator, Melvin the Great. He'll be assisted by a few other members, whom we call it as tag team. Because there are certain aspects of, or actually there are a lot of guidelines. For example, timing. Timing of a speech is very important. However good a speaker is, if he talks for more than 7 minutes, then the hand will go to the pocket and start. Right? Now, to keep a note of the timing and to pick the bell or actually show the record saying that the time is over, we have Toastmaster Dr. Nisha. Please put your hands together. We're gonna talk about the guidance, please.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. And the timer for today, and I'm here to ensure that we are on schedule and our speeches are short, sweet, and to the point, just like me. The icebreaker speech will have a duration of 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will flash the green card. At 5 minutes, I will flash the yellow card. And at 6 minutes, I will flash the red card. The speaker, the other speech, the regular speech will have 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will flash the green card. At 6, I will flash the yellow. And at 7, I will flash the red card. The table topic speeches will have 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will flash the green card. At 1.5, the yellow. And at 2 minutes, the red card. I hope we are,
Thank you, Dr. Sitting there, I'm very sure you will have a lot of ideas, things running on your mind. I can say that, or you have done that. Normally, what happens is you come and stand here, you will forget all of it, or actually most of it. So that's when all the stretch words comes into the picture. I see, schools. To keep track of that, we have someone called counter, and today we have a business development executive at ITC, Toastmaster Wasan. Please give a good round of applause.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm sure all of us would be aware of a fitness tracker, right? So I'll be the fitness tracker for you, for your language today, counting the pauses, the number of repeat words, and I'll be reporting at the end of the event. Have a great evening.
And the remaining for the day. Student with Questions University, please put your hands together to Rahul Bharat.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. How are you all today evening? Okay. Today I'm the language lifeguard, making sure that the English language stays afloat. I will be carefully listening to the good usages and the not so good usages of the English language, and I'll carefully be listening to how each one of you uses the English language when you come up on stage. The word for the day is fortitude. Now, fortitude, which means courage shown by someone who's suffering great pain or facing great difficulties. With that being said, with great fortitude, I hope you all participate actively and enjoy today's meeting. Thank you.
We will move on to the next session, what we call it as a preparatory session. Today there are 4 speakers, so I'm not going to introduce the first speaker too much. The So that I will call this evaluator Toastmaster G1 to read the guidelines of the first speech.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, the purpose of this project for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Timer, please note the time allotted is 4 to 6 minutes for this.
Thank you, Toastmaster G1. All I know is his name is Girish. Put your hands together to Toastmaster Girish.
Have you ever wondered about a person who has put in 15 years in an organization and stuck in his mid-career crisis looking for future growth? This was exactly me this beginning of this year. Lucky for me, friends, I got hold of a motivational video from Jim Rohn, which said, if you work hard on your job, you will make a living, but if you work hard on yourself, you will make a fortune. Believe me, friends, these words inspired me so much that I took it to my heart. I decided that I will take up the challenges, discover my inner abilities to come forward and create a fortune for myself. Good evening, Toastmaster of the day, and my dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests.
Good evening.
My name is Girish. I will uncover my life experiences in 4 different stages based on my life experience, what I've gone through. The first C of my life, the 4 C's, or the 4 C of my life, the first C of my life is childhood. My father is a very strong character person. He always had 3 to 4 cars behind him. He was so strong that at his will he could stop any vehicle because he was a traffic policeman. My mother was a housewife. Growing up with my younger sister Sunita and my younger brother Harish, our favorite sport was pillow fighting. Whenever we got into conflict, we get into pillow fighting. My father had a unique way of teaching us the life lessons. Whenever he figures out that we were doing pillow fighting, he would straight come up and beat me up. As a reaction to this, my brother and sister would run away and start studying. This happened twice or thrice, soon to realize that I have to get into the situation, and even before they fight, I have to resolve the conflict. This is where I picked up my first lesson, conflict resolution. Believe me, friends, I took this lesson. Even today, when I see somebody fighting on the road, I go try to resolve the situation. The second C of my life is camaraderie with my friends. I have stayed in Bangalore for almost 27 years in one place. Yes, of course, I do repent, I did not enjoy much of Bangalore. But on the contrary, I have made friends for life with my LKG classmates with whom I am in touch even today. Growing up, we lived in a community of police quarters, so where your neighbors would decide what your future kid would take up the course as. So I followed the mass. I picked up engineering in mechanical. This is where the best part of my life was. I went to Alpha Engineering College. We were the first batch in engineering. No seniors, no juniors. We had fun like hell. And it was like in a classic movie. You could see that your first crush, fighting for crush, and then bunking of classes, and also the last minute preparation for exams. So this was my second part of my second C. Now, moving forward, my third C. This is where the challenging part is. After I completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, since we did not also have any placements, I faced some issue with respect to the job. This is where I had got some experiences in a small scale industry. Soon got into a company called Bosch, where I am today working. I lead a team there, and me and my team are basically responsible for ensuring that any vehicle that runs on road emits as less as low emissions possible. That's my role. Also, in my stay with Bosch, I have also done my master's in product design and development as a career enhancement. Was this a challenge? No, not at all. The challenge comes now. Working with Bosch, I had saved good amount of money. Like everyone, I also aspired to develop multiple sources of income. I thought of I venture, become an entrepreneur. This is where I got an opportunity or a proposal from my relative or a business opportunity. looking at the returns what it was offering, driven by that, not really getting into the details of the project, soon jumped into that and invested all my money. Soon to realize that it was a failure. This was the biggest mistake in my life. It set me back 10 years back in my financial career. I was broke. I was bankrupt. I had a huge debt in front of me. But did that stop me? No. That is the time I realized my ability to come back even much stronger than what I was before. My determination, my resilience to come back on the path of recovery is what I understood. My fortitude not to lose courage and to become a strong person what I am here today. The fourth C of my life, the character building part. With my wife, Gitanjali, she is helping me to understand how to be a patient person. With my kids, Jeevit and Shaks, they are helping me to understand how to be a loving person. And with my friends, they are trying to help me understand how to be there for someone when somebody needs you. Friends, I believe the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. With this belief, I have decided to build my career step by step. And I am using this platform, the Toastmasters Club, to overcome my fear of stage fear. And I would like to re-quote what Jim Brown said. With that, I would like to end my presentation. If you work hard on your job, you will make a living. But if you work hard on yourself, you will make a fortune. I am here to become a fortune for the future. Thank you.
Well then, Toastmaster Girish, may you have many more C's in life. Okay. I could really keep track of the number of C's, but that was a wonderful speech. The first speech, as you witnessed, it is talking about yourself. Now, when I joined Toastmasters in the 90s, we had one project manual, which had, it was very simple, 10 project. First one is icebreaker, 10 project was persuade your audience. But today, things have changed. So millennials around, the next generation, they can really multitask and do things parallelly, right? So we have something called as a pathways manual. And the next speaker today, it is after the icebreaker level, complex projects, is attempting project from pathway dynamic leadership manual, and it's about research and presenting. May I call his evaluator Toastmaster Chaitra to read the guidelines for this project, please?
The speaker is presenting an evaluation and feedback speech.
Okay, yeah.
The purpose of this project is for the member to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during the club meeting. The purpose of the speech is for the member to demonstrate their ability to deliver an effective, respectful speech evaluation speech. Tanu, please note that speech length is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster. He's a computer science engineer in the making, yet he's a CEO of his own company. Can you believe that? Right? And he says he doesn't believe in shortcuts. Let's see about that. And he is a real hard worker. He claims that he's the youngest pro bodybuilder in the nation. So no wonder ISRO has named the next mission after him. Please join me in welcoming Aditya.
From passions to profits, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and distinguished guests, I stand before you as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity that courses through the veins of every dreamer, doer, and believer. I went from sculpting my body through the realms of entrepreneurship, through determination, faith, and converting dreams into reality. Now, Let me start off with a brief introduction. My name is Aditya, as you might already know. I'm studying computer science engineering at Jain University. How did I begin my journey? At the age of 12, I was watching a lot of movies. I wanted to become a real life superhero. So I watched all the superheroes and I found one superhero who struck a special chord in my heart. He was Batman. Now can I have anyone tell me that what is the special power which Batman has? Can I come to? He's rich. He's rich. And what superpowers does he have? Nothing. He has no superpowers whatsoever. So I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be tall and imposing. Not because of his extraordinary abilities, but because of his extraordinary willpower. Batman, both in mind and spirit, embodied the perfect principles which aimed me to pursue bodybuilding. From boy to man, as I completed my metamorphosis in mind and spirit, I had a combination of sweat, perseverance, and no limits. In the 2022 National Physique Contest, which is a profound contest in the realm of bodybuilding, I was about to compete in it. As my coach and I were training, we had a specially vigorous session of doing the leg press. A 300 kg leg press was the decider of my fate. As I was doing the exercise, I felt my left leg break and snap in half. Now you might imagine how that would feel. Yet, the human spirit cannot be extinguished. I defied adversity and became stronger. Today, I stand before you as I am competing in the 2023 Mr. Olympia, which is the same competition which is graced by the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. In 2020, I started transforming people's lives. I started off in Toastmasters, where I was a member for 4 years. I started off helping people achieve their fitness goals, from losing weight to building muscle. Until now, I've amassed over 100 clients. All this is my bodybuilding. But it doesn't end at the gym. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have found my passion at such a young age. As a 21-year-old, turned 21 just a few days ago, I delved into the realm of entrepreneurship. I created the genesis of my personal training company, HyperX Fit. It transcends more bounds than a lot of other companies. We combine the commission-based model as well as an influencer-based model. We transform many people from bodybuilding or fitness. So how do I put forth my company in the real world? As far as you are concerned, it is just ideation. So I set my sights. I think 8 months ago, January 1st, I made a resolution to have my company up and running by the end of the year. So I applied for the esteemed Federation of Chambers of Commerce in Bangalore. They are one of the oldest chambers of commerce which have existed in this nation and the world. I went from ideation to reality. I assembled a team of visionaries, especially like me, who wanted to create a change in the world at their unique propositions and knowledge. I visited the hallowed chambers of commerce, where I presented my pitch against various venture capitalists and angel investors. Mr. Chinmay, one of the founders, he especially took into account my brilliant way of speaking and presenting the concepts. So he told me that we would be a unicorn by the end of 2028. Months later, seasoned executives, venture capitalists, and angel investors were all in front of me. Now you can imagine how tense the situation would be for most people. But I have one thing, I have zero stage fear. So I went forward, I put forth all the knowledge I had in my head and made them understand how we will be a standout company from the rest. There were 300 teams in the beginning of this competition. From 300, it turned into 50. Then from 50, it turned into 10. Then from 10, it turned into 5. As we qualified into the semi-finals, and now we're going into the finals. This arduous journey, although created various opportunities for one to thrive under pressure, much like a diamond. And I would like to share this, especially powerful anecdote. The universe likes kindred spirits. So, I met a fellow scion like myself. I met the granddaughter of Amitabh Bachchan. I know he uses this in my speech quite often. Her name is Navya Nandana Medi. She has a connection which shaped us both into privilege and ambition. Ambition and benevolence combined can contribute into wonderful endeavors. From passion to profits, from the iron arena to the boardroom. Dreams and tenacity and purpose of vision created imagination into reality. And as Jim Rohn said, take care of your body, it is a temple. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. This is the beauty of a community club. So I have attended many Toastmasters meetings, mainly in the corporate sector. What happens is we end up meeting our managers or seniors and we kind of restrict what are the topics we speak about. But here in Bangalore Toastmasters Club, we meet people from all sorts. Like we got doctors, we got lawyers, we got a bodybuilder, all sorts of people. And that really helps you grow. That's one of the biggest benefit which I got from Toastmasters, apart from giving giving you courage to come here and talk to the audience. So our next speaker today, I will call upon his evaluator, DEM, Teresa Mata, to read the guidelines.
Mr. Toastmaster today, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. The purpose of the project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. The second purpose of the speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. Timer, please note the allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you. He is from the town where a big temple has been built. It's a controversial place. And yes. And again, the building started in August. I was talking about how August is important, but it was in 2020. And they're going to complete it during this term of when our Toastmaster session ends. Right? Yes, he is from Ayodhya. Please put your hands together. He's a consultant and, I think he's going to talk about in the hope of winning. Is that right? Okay, put your hands together for Toastmaster Shubhanshu.
Thank you for such a warm welcome. Have you ever heard a book changing one's life? A book called You Can Win changed my life. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. When I was class 9, my father gifted me a book. Anyone want to guess its name? You Can Win. Yes, you are right. It was You Can Win. And that was a motivational book. And it sparked an entrepreneurship in me. When I read it, I want to make my own company and conquer the world, as Aditya said. So when I reached class 12, I wanted to study commerce. But it's my parents who make the most important decisions, be it my career choice or be it my pride. So they selected science for me. And I studied science for next 8 years. But the dream of entrepreneurship never died within me. When I reached my post-graduation, I still remember I used to think myself as a movie star, and in the movie, the recruiters are chasing me to join their company on my will and the salary I want. What a fantasy. But the reality hit me hard when I joined my first company. And that time, I really wanted to open my own company. And it's sometimes that it gets more eager when my boss used to say not so good thing about me. So at the end of 2019, Ajiz, Rahul, Avinash, these are my friends, and I teamed up to open a company called Medias Pharma. We thought it's a perfect name, as Medi resembles medicines and As in Hindi means hope. And we were all set to launch our company, and we were very ambitious from the beginning. So rather than launching a local registered company or an LLP company, we directly opted for private limited. And if you want to know the difference, let's catch up during networking break. So when we were all ready, we were talking to the customers, we were talking to the dealers, we were talking to the potential clients, we were looking for the procurements, we were just all set, and we were ready to launch. Oh, sorry, in the excitement of all this, I forgot to tell what the company was all about. So we were thinking to launch a pharmaceutical marketing company, and it was supposed to manufacture drugs from Baddi, a pharmaceutical hub, and sell it in the tier 2, tier 3 cities of Uttar Pradesh. And our USP was to sell the quality drugs with the proof that patients can trust and a blend of digitalization. And when we are pushing the pedal so hard to launch the company, and when we are all set, just then COVID hit. The prices of raw materials skyrocketed, the supply chain was disturbed, and we were distressed. But we had no options other than waiting till the situation becomes normal. But COVID also bring an opportunity for us. There was a massive demand of online pharmacies, but there was none in my area. So Ajit and I teamed up to open a pharmacy called Indawa.in. He was responsible for logistics and operations, including getting orders and delivering the medicines. I was maintaining the website, and it took 3 months to get at least 3 orders per week. And as we were progressing in our business, Ajit was progressing in his personal life too. He was getting married. So he had to choose he has to choose the time to invest in the expansion of company or in the preparation of his marriage. And he chose to preparation of her marriage. So we halted our operations, but at that time, COVID was calmed down and the things were becoming normal. So we started romancing with our first love, Medias Pharma. But our romance had challenges too. The investors who promised to invest in our company has pulled back after COVID, and we have to wait some time to arrange the money. And it took some time to arrange those funds. And finally, when we had fun, we thought to launch the company, and we were placing orders, we were recruiting people, and also we started getting orders. But when all the grasses were looking green, one of our co-founders pulled out of the business. He was responsible for the marketing, the main guy. Another setback for Medias Pharma. But this time, rather than waiting, we thought to went ahead and launch the company, and we did so. I quit my full-time job and focused fully on Medias Pharma. We ran the company from December 2021 to September 2022. What went wrong? Why we closed company? Well, that will be a tale for another Toastmasters speech. But now, as I look back to my journey, I think we have persevered and learned valuable lessons from the setbacks in establishing the company. And one quote from the book You Can Win always remained with me. Losers see the pain, winners see the gain. Back to you.
All the best, Shumanshu. What's life without taking any risk, isn't it? If you are comfortable with your job, if everything is good for you, that means you are not really growing. You take risks and put yourself into that hotspot. That's one recipe for success, what we can say. Now, our next speaker, before that, the speaker and the evaluator, both are celebrities in our club. But first, let me call the first celebrity, DTM Rajji, to read the guidelines of the next speech.
I'm
Okay,
speaking
Gangadhar
on
will,
behalf of the
speak to that.
evaluator. The purpose for this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety to enhance a speech. And the time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, 5 green, 6 yellow, and 7 red. Wishing all the best on behalf of the evaluator and the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster. As a Toastmaster of the day, it's one of the things we need to do is really collect information of the speakers here and then try to improve. But for him, I said, he is all over in YouTube, and you put his name and he just shows us that he is such kind of a person. He joined this club when he was an engineering student, 8 years ago. But later, he became a member here and he has won so many laurels. But he has got so many laurels to our club. Humorous speaker. What that? I'm not going to tell you more about it. Please put your hands together to Toastmaster. Ankit.
Act 1, Scene 1. A chilly winter morning, I woke up, prayed to gods. All of this, even before sunrise. I touched my parents' feet and said, "Today I will make you proud." Ladies and gentlemen, that was the result day of my 9th standard terminal exam. And yes, I had promised my parents that it would be a day of celebration. You know why? Because after failing twice in almost all the subjects, this was the time. I would not just pass, but I was confident that I would come first in the class. After all, I had attempted all the questions of all the papers. On our way to school, my father rode his old antique Bajaj Chetak scooter at a cruising speed of 15 kilometers per hour. Halfway, I saw Rohit, the current topper of the class, waving at me as he was inside his brand new Honda City car. I smiled at him. He smiled at me as his father drove past our scooter. And I thought, Rohit would be so sad and shattered today to find out that I am the new topper of the class. As my teacher, Miss Madhumita, handed the report card to me, I opened the report card, looked at it for almost 10 seconds. I smiled and there were tears in my eyes. I could not stop my tears because indeed I had come first from the last. As we stepped outside the school, I saw Rohit and his well-suited father get into the car and drove past us. This time nobody smiled. My father said, "When will you become like Rohit?" I said, "Father, when will you become like Rohit's father?" We argued so loudly that it was the first time in the history of mankind that 2 humans fought like dogs and 2 dogs were watching us like humans. I said, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault because if you had a car, if you had a good suit in the school, if you had worn that suit to the school, if Rohit's sister Neha was close to me, if you had taken us on vacations every 6 months like Rohit's father, perhaps I could have come first in the class." My father did not have any answer for that. He just planted a seed of disappointment outside the school. He kicked the scooter, started it, and I had to take an auto back home. Act 1, Scene 2. As I entered 10th standard, my father bought a car, a suit, and he promised me a fantastic trip if I scored good marks. He said, "If this is all you needed to score good marks, I hope you make me proud this time." I said, "Of course!" For months, I never came out of house. I felt good about owning a car. I dreamt of that trip. I felt so good about joining the same institute that Rohit went to. I wrote exam this time, and this time I did not attempt all the questions. I was smart. And on the result day, my friends, this time again I failed. Maybe, just maybe, studies was not for me. Act 2, Scene 1. Many years later, I found myself in this horse riding academy. Now I wanted to become a horse rider. There were 19 other participants, learners in my group. But I paid extra to get the best horse for a Tufan. First day, as I mounted on top of Tufan, I realized how majestic it is. I noticed carefully all the other horses and the participants and realized that all the other horses are small. And I felt very powerful. I almost laughed when I saw the others struggling with the instructions and commands. Day 5, I carefully observed all the other horses and riders and saw some improvement. But I was confident enough that I would be the best because I had the best horse to find. Day 10 of training, when it was time to show our excellence in riding, I carefully observed the other riders. When they commanded the horse to gallop, the horse galloped. When they demanded the horse to walk, the horse walked. And when they pulled the rope, the horse stopped. Now it was different with Tufan. When I asked him to gallop, it stopped. When I asked it to walk, it galloped. And when I asked it to walk, it galloped. And when I asked him to stop, it gave me a jerk and I almost fell down. When the instructor came from behind and saved me. And before he could say anything, I said, "Sir, boss, I want a refund. Because this horse does not obey me. Maybe the saddle is not uptight. Maybe the weather is not good. Maybe the other horses are better than mine." The instructor said, "First of all, I will not refund you the money. Because in all the 10 days, you carefully observed and wasted your time noticing others' horses. Only if you had focused on your horse would have obeyed you. Now shut up and stand at the corner and watch the other riders." I stood at the corner, watched the other riders, and surprisingly, the new rider on Tufan was able to communicate, and Tufan, of course, obeyed him properly. The instructor's words swayed in my mind like a pendulum as I was living in the castle of regret and guilt. Maybe if I focused the most on my horse, it would have obeyed me. Maybe if I had not focused on all the other things like the suit, the car, the trip, and focused more on my studies, I might have scored better marks. And maybe if I had focused less on HR Aishwarya and focused more on my work, I would have been promoted. But hey, I'm not the only one. Have you ever focused on others' horses and lost control of yours? Have you ever focused on the least important things in the world and found yourself swallowing a pill of regret later? If yes, and I'm sure most of you have, this answer is yes. Today I insist you to take control of your Tufan. And once you do that, just make sure you hold the rope tight, because it may take you at a speed that you become uncontrollable. Back to Toastmasters.
Yeah, we get distracted by the horses, the birds around, right? The solid life is normal. But today, before going to the next session, what we call as tabletop session, I talk about a bit more after we come back here, a short networking break. In that case, just 10 minutes, time? 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes, we'll be back. Thank you. And yes, they say God has given us two ends, one to sit, other to think. Your success depends on which one you use the most. Alright? And I'm very sure that's about the thinking. Third session of a Toastmasters meeting, we call it as a table topic session. But it is actually in fact the second session, the third one is the gender evaluation session, sorry about that. In table topics, so you saw members who came here, they came here by preparing their speeches as per the guidelines laid by the project manuals. But here in table topic session, you are on our table, we call him table topic master, the one who really conducts. And this gentleman, he is again an engineer in the making, very enthusiastic person. He is conducting this table topic session for the first time. Please do a thundering round of applause to Toastmaster.
So, as you know, many of you have already heard the prepared speeches. Those speakers had to think on their head, and now you all of you have to think on your feet, right? So now the theme of the table topics is that I will call you on stage. I will give you a topic. After which I'll call out a name. You come on stage, I shake your hand, and then I'll tell the topic again. For which you have to speak for 2 minutes. Timer, please note, the time is 2 minutes. So let's start with the first topic. A life lesson you learned the easy way. A life lesson you learned the easy way goes to Toastmaster Puneet Surana. A life lesson you learned the easy way.
I used to spend a lot of time at Lalbagh during my vacations, and I had this one spot at the heart of Lalbagh where I could sit and watch the entire horizon, look at the lake, look at the sunset, and I would go there and just chain smoke books on pretty much every day during my vacations. And I'd always notice at 5:30 there was this old gentleman group that would go around, and they would be meeting at a place very close to where I was reading. So one fine day, this gentleman, he had come a little early, or maybe his friends were late, so he was sitting by himself. So I went up and I said hi, introduced myself, and I started chatting with him. And I have a passion for connecting with people way beyond my age group. So we really connected well, and I asked him something I still remember so vividly. I asked him, hey, you're in your 70s, right? So if you would turn the dial, go back, and do something differently, what would you do? He thought for a while, looked at the lake, looked at the horizon, turned towards me and he said, I would not work so hard on changing others. I would rather just change myself. And that struck such a deep chord in me. It warmed the cockles of my heart because it's beautiful. I was pouring so much of my time and energy in changing my dad, my family, my friends. And at the age of 16 or 17, I decided and committed like, bas bahut ho gaya samaj seva. Now it's time to do swayam seva. So I'll make sure I improve on myself, I'll develop myself. And I did make fortune and I lost multiple times. But I realized it is so much more easier to get the man right, and the world will take care of itself. The world will get right by itself. So yeah, that's my
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneet, for the wonderful insight. So, on to the next topic. Your favorite seat in the BTMC hall. The favorite seat in the BTMC hall goes to Toastmaster Bhavna.
Usually, see, this is how I am when I take the topic basketball. I'm so anxious usually on stage when I get a table topic. It's like this ball of snow just tumbling down a mountain and an avalanche just waiting to break up. So when everybody else's topics gets called, I think I'll say that when I get that topic, this topic. And usually when my topic, I draw blank. So the usual seat that I choose, my favorite spot would be somewhere in the behind rows, where I am left by myself to make notes and not, interact too much. And yeah, that would be the usual seat. Thank you.
So the next topic, the main thing is to keep the main thing, goes to DTM Gangadhar. I will repeat for the benefit. The main thing is to keep the main thing, the main thing.
Good evening to all Toastmasters and guests here. This reminds me of a quote. The value of a value is valuable only when you know the value of the value. Once more. The value of a value is valuable only when you know the value of a value. So, in connection with that, the main thing is the main thing.
The main thing is to keep
Main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. Basically, in short, in one word, focus. That is your main thing. That is your main thing. Be on that main thing. If you're going to be looking left and right, you're going to get distracted. You will not be on the main thing. You will be on everything. Right? And then you will be everywhere. So, in short, if you have to be good with anything you do, it's very important that you keep a focus. You know what is the main thing, work on that main thing, and don't get distracted from that main thing. And that's when the main thing will take you to that main place. So it's very important to keep that right focus. And this is a very good table topic for me because I'm thinking of my second book now. And thank you very much. The main thing should be the main thing. Yeah. So with that, I hand this over back.
Thank you, DTM Gangadhar. I'll be looking forward to your next book, which is the main thing for us. Okay, this topic is in line with word of the day, fortitude. What does not kill me makes me stronger. Goes to Toastmaster Saloni.
What does not kill me makes me stronger. Those annoying calls from friends saying that I'm going to break up, I'm going to patch up, and you have to deal with that like 100 of times. It doesn't kill me but make me stronger. It helps me with keeping up patience and communicate, not break through. Fighting with my siblings and not hurt each other. Yeah, that again keeps me stronger. Also coming on the stage and speaking, this kills me inside, but I'm sure this is gonna support me, like help me speak fiercely, take on the stage fear ahead and make me stronger.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saloni. I hope this coming on stage has killed your fear and made you stronger. Okay, next topic. Messi or Ronaldo Dhoni? Okay, goes to Toastmaster Danya. Messi or
Guys, please back for me. Because I really can't back for myself here. Messi or Dhoni? Of course, Dhoni! He's the Chennai Super Kings guy and that's where he's born. And who will not support Dhoni here? May I know? Are you really going to take me on there? I think we won
by the majority here. Dhoni has been one of the most inspiring captains. The more I get to know about him, it's not just about the game on the field, it's also off the field. And I think one of the recent things I read about him, about how when he stayed in a 5-star hotel, he asked the chef to actually keep the food that he ate because he wanted vegetarian food. And the chef made a big spread for him. This was when he stayed in a 5-star hotel in Kerala. And he said, you made so much food for me, can you please keep it in the refrigerator and give it to me for dinner? I'm not sure if there's any other player who is as humble as Dhoni, and I think it's the humility which made him the captain and believed in making everybody else in his team strong.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanya. Being from Kerala, mine is messy. The silliest thing you are a master at goes to Toastmaster Vishal. The silliest thing you are a master at. It seems the silliest thing I'm a master at is coming here on stage and making a fool of myself every Friday for those table topics. Thank you, table topic master, and I have no idea what to speak. So let me, do what I'm good at. Do something silly. And now I don't know what to do also. I'm just tanking this. I guess this is the silliest thing that I am good at, and I'm just going to keep doing this until Dr. Neha pulls up her card, and I'm just waiting for you. And let's talk about what is silly. I mean, I will consider something to be silly, but you will say, no, that's not silly, that's something that's very normal. But then I'll say, no, that is silly. But at the end of the day, I think what is the silliest thing that I'm really good at is dragging something out and making it last longer than it should have, which I just did. Back to you, David I thought the serious thing was... Okay. The next topic. A vacation plus a disaster equals an adventure. Goes to Toastmaster Sampath. Vacation plus a disaster equals an adventure.
Usually, I'm not going on vacation, which is a big disaster in my life. So, vacation is disaster. So, planning for vacation and going for vacation is a big adventurous thing in my life, because nowadays I don't find out like really I want to go out and enjoy my vacation. And recently I got a job in a company and I'm working, and it's day and night we are working to develop the company, which is a startup. Just a couple of weeks before I joined, so huge the responsibility is on my shoulder. So now, so this is live. I can't think about vacation.
Thank you for sharing about your vacation and work. They say the work-life balance. For the next topic, something you'd like to experience again for the first time. Toastmaster Chirag. Something that you'd like to experience again for the first time.
Something I like to experience again for the first time.
So I think there is nothing. So if I have experienced it for the first time, there won't be anything that I can experience it again, right? So that is the thing. So I'm little confused, like does it has any meaning or not? Something that you have experienced and you want to experience it again. I'm not able to come up again with any kind of analogy to this, but I would say that what I've experienced before and I want to experience it again. So, like the last topic, whatever he has covered, right? The adventure and no, the vacation and the disaster is an adventure. So I think this has happened to me as well. So I'll just do a brief about it. So I missed out on 2 vacations with my friends and they had enjoyed it. So I just wanted to go with them when they were planning for the next time and we went for a cinema. So at that time, the one guy, he said to us that he has a beautiful vacation house and all those things. And he also mentioned, he hyped that he'll walk us through a forest and he can stop an elephant by his hand. So whenever we reach there, we don't see any house that was built up, that was under construction house. Okay. And he was like, he said, hey, come with us and play volleyball in a like thorny field. So then we decided that was the disaster that happened to us, and we decided we'll move out to some other place and we'll have we booked a small hotel. And in that hotel, like wherever the adventure part I tell you, there was this bear that came up at the night, and like we had enjoyed because like we were sleeping in a like van, and that like like I didn't knew like what was happening at that time. So whenever it just knocked someone's door and they were screaming. So this is what an adventure for me as well. Like whenever I say, over to you.
Sample speech. Alright. Next topic. Your superpower goes to Toastmaster Shreya.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So my superpower would be my height. As like most of people might see as disadvantage or something like that, but it's kind of superpower. You can just college canteen during lunchtime is the most crowded place I've ever seen. Okay, so whenever I have to give, I just squeeze right in. No matter how long the line is, imagine this, I just squeeze right in and then give the receipt. And he'll take my receipt, he'll give the food and squeeze right out and go and take it to my place and eat it peacefully. So that's my superpower. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. I wonder what would be a superpower if you were taller. Next topic. To understand how something works, figure out how to break it. Goes to Toastmaster Rashi. To understand how something works, figure out how to do it.
A very good evening, dear Toastmasters and Table Topic Master.
Very good.
It's been an absolute delight to be here. I think it's been almost 2 months since I've gotten to come to this stage. And for today's topic, to understand something better, Great. Okay. So my very recent experience has been yoga, and I think to understand yoga, to understand the postures, I had to break my bones, break myself, break my mind, and understand the ideology behind it. It has been a very different experience. I think through my mundane life, I'm just 19, I know, but my life is very boring. So to have a different experience, I stayed in a hostel for approximately 2 months, which was like the biggest achievement for me, seeing my parents who don't even let me step outside my house. So being there, I think I learned a lot of new things, and to understand the hostel life, to understand how it is to stay alone, to understand the new path that I had chosen. I really had to get into it. I had to experience it firsthand, see the difficulties, see the achievements behind it, and I cannot imagine, or I cannot view how, if I wasn't there, where would I have been, because nothing, I think nothing till now could beat those 2 months of my life.
Toastmaster Rashid. Next topic. Something you know that most people are unaware of. Goes to Toastmaster Sai Deepak. That most people are unaware of.
Very good evening, my dear Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. So actually, I'm coming back after quite some time, and suddenly something that you know that most people are unaware of. So I would say I know maybe electromagnetic engineering, I guess. Most people find very boring, and there is one subject in college also which people somehow want to just pass and just get out of it. So I mean, for me also, when I did my engineering, it was like that only. It was it was too much of mathematics and very difficult subject for me. But my bad luck was that after I did my engineering and I wrote my GATE exam and all, okay, and I got into the same domain itself in my master's also. So I had no other choice but to learn it. But so I think right now I know something about the subject which I think most people are unaware of and do not want to be aware of also. Thank you.
I think love is something to think of. The next topic. Would you rather be the funniest or most intelligent person in the room? Goes to Toastmaster Srinivas.
Thanks. With great fortune, I came here with table topic. I know my friend would give me the last topic to pull my leg, but thanks. So I would choose to be a funny or a intelligent. I think intelligence is something which I lack, and that's why people laugh at me sometimes. So fun is something which I think I have been used to. So that is one skill which many of my friends say that you are good at. But intelligence is one part which I am still figuring out, and even now. So that's why I would prefer to be more intelligent rather than be this. But with this, I would say over a period of time, what I learned in my life is that try for excellence without comparing with others, rather than be yourself and improve each and every day. Like for example, I don't compare with Rajdeep sir. I know if people see me in that way, I will never get the table topic award, and still I am waiting for. But what I want from every one of us is be better speaker than the previous speaker. That's what I am doing. And with this, I will hand over to.
I think there's a common saying in Toastmasters, right? If they give you a topic to talk on a cow, you tie the cow to the pole and talk about the pole. For the next topic, something you never regret goes to Toastmaster Rahul D'Souza.
Actually, choosing my life path and going towards programming and coding, I think that was the best thing I ever done. I think was, even though I was very bad at my subjects, I was never really good at studying and doing everything. I knew how to break computer out. I knew how to program. I knew how to play with Lego blocks and start fiddling around with other things. As my journey through the program has continued, it's always been good. It's been progressing. I feel better about myself. I feel good. So it's just the one thing that I don't regret about all the other things. That's it.
I don't regret meeting now because I'm doing learning coding. So. Next topic is a little long, so I want you to listen. You are diagnosed with multiple personality syndrome. Right now, you are one of the members of today's session. Who would you be? Toastmaster Vijay. So you're diagnosed with multiple personality syndrome. Right now, you're one of the members of today's session. Who will you be?
Well, I can see the chairman of ISRO seated there, and I want to be in this place. Mr. Toastmaster, Master, why I'm selecting this? India, we're on the moon. That's Chandrayaan. We're over the moon, what you achieved. But now, let's get back to Mother Earth. And of course, in particular, the chief scientist at ISRO. I boarded the metro, Whitefield to Kerala. I had a workshop in Whitefield. Excellent. It was like New York, London, Paris, one of the best metros. We came to Kerala, back to Bangalore. Moon, we are told we have so many poisonous gases. Kerala to Whitefield 3 km, moon is nothing. Now, poisonous gases are amazing. If you're on the lighted surface of the moon, temperatures will go to 50, 60, 70 degrees Celsius. Kerala, Whitefield, temperatures would go much more than that. Next number of vehicles. I mean, we're talking about landing on the South Pole. It's commendable. Chief Scientist is so commendable. But try landing on any one of Bangalore's roads. Chandrayaan 2 would have not been a failure. It's a Herculean task from Kerala to Whitefield. I appreciate what they have done, sending the moon to 3.8 lakh kilometers from Mother Earth. But the distance from ISRO office to Kerala is just 3.8 km. What a coincidence. So, if I had the person disorder, I would be a scientist and set right the 3.8 km first. And clean people will go peacefully from Whitefield all the way to Kangeri. And that's what we have to do. Because going to the moon is one thing, but we have to be on the moon, being on the earth. So I would be this chief scientist.
If I had multiple personality, I think Vijay Anand so that I can Next topic. If you had a dream to become any object in the room, what would you be, or rather, who would you be? Toastmaster, Brian. If you had a dream to become any object in the room,
Am I the last person? Okay, fun fact, I have come on stage at the table, getting a table topic for I think 3 times already, and I have been the last person on stage. So for the gathering here, the next time you are a table topic master, please pick me and put me in the first few table topics, because the anxiety level is different. Okay, to be okay, any object, I would choose the water tank there, because that's water, and I have been on a NCC camp recently, and I realized how important it is to us, because we leave our barracks at 5 in the morning, not to come back till 10:30 in the morning, and we have PT in the morning, running up to 3 kilometers in the morning, and also drill. The place I went to, there were drill starts. If some of you might know, those drill starts are people with fancy mustaches who have a cane and are ready to beat if your drill is not good. And when they teach you drill, the only thing you want is to escape from the place. Get a cup of water and then go back. Because in the hot sun, tar road, it's a different scenario there. If I was someone, I would be the wartime boss, I would be filled with water. That's the one.
It was a wonderful session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you. So now I would like to wrap things up. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
So in table topic session, who's the most happiest man? The one who Look at him, he's so happy throwing away topics today. Well done, Tarun. All the best. He said, I am from Kerala. I looked up his full name. It says Taran Govind Menon. And immediately I remembered one of our past presidents, whose name is C.S. Menon, who resembles him so much, and I really felt the wit and the humor he brought in here. Wonderful, Taran. I will not talk more about you because we have our general evaluator without the sword, Toastmaster Melvin Smith, the great.
I think we are enjoying this meeting so much that we have to make sure that we are on time. And what our Sergeant at Arms did was not just make sure that he's on time, he started 20 seconds ahead of time. Wonderful. I would suggest to the Sergeant at Arms, next time he starts off 20 seconds and he knows it, that's considering that he knows it, say a few words like, lovely to see you over here. I felt that the Sergeant at Arms was more concentrated on delivering what he had prepared, rather than seeing what people are expecting of him. But I must say that the Sergeant at Arms is putting in a lot of effort, trying a lot of things. Like today, he asked, hey, better make sure that you knock before you come in. That can be a big distraction if it doesn't work well. So those things need to be rehearsed. So Sergeant at Arms, you're doing a great job. I can see you're putting a lot of effort. Great job for starting every meeting on time. Try some new things and I'm sure it will make you much better. Let's give him a big round. I hope I'm not known for only giving the big backs and known for giving some praise. But then now we have a president who is very calm, soothing. He almost acts like he owns this place, and that's what the president effect is. Yes, he does bring in a very natural way of talking. I felt his story about the Toastmaster was an excellent idea. But I thought we should have built a little more. I thought the moral of the story was, there are steps in your life that you can achieve if you practice the way this Toastmaster did. But, well, you gave us a different perspective, and I loved how that was your theme to the whole of Toastmasters. But I must also give you some tip of how you can be better. The whole club looks up to you. Say something to them. Inspire them something about the club. Don't just say the legendary club. What is so legendary of the club? But just by you saying it, tell them what can be achieved when you join Toastmasters and in particular this club and why it's so legendary. I felt that would go a long way. Then we had our Toastmaster of the day. Where expectations are always very high from this person. And he just didn't let us down with his natural humor and spontaneous humor about something current. I felt he introductions to everyone, put the meeting together so well. We felt comfortable. Even if things were missing, I didn't realize. But he made it look like it's such a simple job. Any one of you can take it up next time. If Priyanka calls you and say, will you be the Toastmaster? Say, no problem. Then you realize how much of work goes on into it. Toastmaster has put in a lot of effort behind the scenes, calling up people, making sure he gets introductions, etc. Great job. Put your hands together for our Toastmaster of the day, Somshekhar. When you're always up on a pedestal, people have a bigger view of you. And what I notice, and over a period of time also I've been noticing of our Toastmasters of the day, the end sentences somehow are missing. I don't know whether it is my ears, I'm sure it is not my ears, but I don't hear some of the last words, even the hit word that he has to say. Maybe you should work on it, because I've been seeing it over a few times. But you covered up so well because you're such a good audience. Then let's call our evaluators for today. First evaluator, Jeevan for Toastmaster Girish.
The most powerful friend in our friend group is a son of traffic police. He has the power to control our fines whenever we avoid. My dear Toastmasters, in particular, Toastmaster Girish, good evening. Good evening. I want to divide your evaluation from the analogy of traffic signal. Green, which means keep on doing the things you put in the script. Number one, your script had a suspense. Toastmasters, do you know my father has the power to stop the vehicle at the road? For that time I thought, I belong to a politician family. Next, you said, no, my dad is a traffic police, which grabbed attention of the audience in the beginning of the speech. That's a winning moment for every speaker. And number two, inspiration. Toastmasters, I earned enough at the Bosch. With an intention to make extra source of revenue, I took a decision of becoming an entrepreneur. And I dumped all my money into it. Over a period of time, I lost. But I didn't fall back. I worked upon it and overcame from it. Your inspiration, your thought had some sort of menu for all the audience. Number three, content. Every movie wins in the market with the content. And your icebreaker speech won with the content. Like, you work in Bosch, the father is a traffic police inspector, and you had experience in a small scale industry, and you did entrepreneurship also. And why I joined Toastmaster to overcome the public speaking, all this content was part of the icebreaker, and you fulfilled it. Congratulations to that. As I said, it's a green signal. Go with inspirations, content, and motivation. Where you want to avoid the red signal is body language. I know it's your first speech, but take it as a thought. Your body language was not aligned with your script. For example, my dad was a traffic police inspector and has the power to stop the vehicle. Your body language was not aligned with the thought. The one improvement you need in that is, my dad is a traffic police, has the power to stop the vehicles. Stop wherever it is required. Apart from that, Toastmaster Girish, with the content of suspense and inspiration, you ignited some sort of motivation in the mind of audience. And with the content of your personal details, became known to our community. Only pending is known to the outside world, and I believe you're going to do it in the future.
points and 1 area for improvement. If you give too many areas of improvement, you lose it. Let's call the second evaluator, Chaitra.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and a very warm evening to Toastmaster Aditya.
Good evening.
Toastmaster Aditya, you took us on a wonderful journey. Like you said, from a dreamer to a doer to a believer. I think that's something we really saw you bring out in your speech. You had a well-structured speech. It was chronological, so you started talking about from the time when you were 12 on to the present, right? And it was very clear that way. You gave us a good amount of details at each part of the speech, and that really helped make a speech more well-rounded. You also talked about going from a boy to a man, and I think we really saw that transformation in your speech. You made it relatable to everyone here. Now you had two main themes that you brought out through your speech. One was bodybuilding, and the other was your entrepreneurial journey. And it's not easy to get a diverse audience to relate to that, but you have managed to do that. For example, when you spoke about how you did a 300 kg leg press and your leg broke, I noticed that members of the audience were wincing. So that is good. You really got people to relate to you. You also had techniques like asking questions, like when you did, when you brought up Batman. And that's also great to capture the audience's attention. Now, although you had all these strong points in your speech, there are also areas that I felt you could have improved on. I know that you said you're not feeling very well, and that is why you had to stand behind the podium next to the mic. But I felt that it was really important for you to actually show those gestures and use up the stage. So for example, you could have spoken to the sergeant at arms and arranged for to use the hand mic or the other mic that Shivansh used. Your casual clothes are also not just here for the audience, right, as the formal Toastmasters audience, but it's also there for you, because when you wear formal clothes, you feel a little more energetic, you feel like you're in the mood. I also felt that you could have brought a little more drama into parts of your speech, like pitch competition. For example, you were pitching in front of all these VCs and agents, and it was, I can imagine how intimidating it was. Okay, you could have brought in a little more drama. Toastmaster Aditya, you are a strong speaker. You mentioned that you don't feel any fear on the stage, and you demonstrated it here. I hope that you will polish the speech like you polished your pitch in front of all these VCs and reached so far into the competition, from 300 teams to 10 teams. I want you to put that effort into your next speech, and I'm sure that when you do, you will be astounded by how well you do. Back to you.
Thank you, Chaitra, for giving us a lot of information. Sometimes more information, less information is more. So let's go to the next speaker, next evaluator, Teresa, for speaker one.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and my target speaker, Shivansh. Congratulations, Shivansh, for point number 1, for using the caller mic and all the stage was yours. Point number 2, you opened your speech with a question. So you all took the audience attention. The question you asked, have you ever heard a book that can change a life? Yes, you were all agreed to it. Third point I liked, you shared your own personal story and made us to listen to more, and there was a very good message. Point number 4, Shubhanshu, still the plus points are going on. Your body language so apt. Your gestures were fantastic. Your voice modulation was marvelous. Where you said it took 3 months. Yes, when you said I put dot, 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 dot. Yes, you did it. Congratulations, Shubhanshu. And when you said we were destroyed, it was a thing. Your facial expression of the body and his voice modulation was wonderful. And also, you said there was another setback. So many ends were there. Another setback. Wonderful. My 5th or 6th, I forget. Your good points are your speech was pepped with humor. Many points. If I say all points, time will show the card right now. Then, maybe there were more details to catch up, and you asked us to meet during the intermission or during the free time, and fantastic conclusion, where you said losers see the pain and the winners see the gain. You showed your losing part, and you also showed where you can win. And now, Shubhanshu, where you can improve. First and foremost, the appropriate pauses. Yes, you did. Many times you mentioned the humor. You were about to laugh, but you started with that second sentence. So, Shubhanshu, note it down, pauses, and second is you were fast. That is the pace. Pace of your speech should be so well synchronized based on the top and your humor. And point number 3 is that you have to use both pause and pace in your third speech, where we all would like to hear for the next speech where you said, why did you close the company? So Shubhanshu, to summarize, you took everything, your opening, the speech and the body and the conclusion very well, very good gestures, body language and the humor pepped, and concluded where you gave a very good message that losers see the pain and winners see the gain. All the best for next speech. Over to you.
Some evaluators take the general evaluator seriously. Keep it short. I want to tell you, when you're speaking and you see the red card, it's like going off the air. So if you keep on speaking after that, whatever you say after that is not even valid. Let's go to the last evaluator, Rajdeep and Bhavani.
Fellow Toastmasters, General Evaluator and Ankit in particular. Today you took us through a wonderful journey through a Bajaj Chetak on a Honda City and right to a beautiful horse called Tufan. So let's say, what were the Honda City moments of your speech which made us feel really good? One, I thought the humor was brilliant, and you brought out the humor as the speech got up with 2 elements of vocal variety. The first element was the pause. You had brilliant pauses everywhere, where you said, when your father said to you, okay, why can't you become like Rohit? And then you said, why can't you become like Rohit's father? And you gave a brilliant pause over there. And I thought everything, I came first from the last. So the humor was enhanced by that, and we felt the wind blowing through us through that air condition of Honda City with that. And I also thought the power which you used in bringing the ups and downs in your speech. I wanted to talk about Tufan, and Tufan was there, and I told you to run. You were bringing out the power, the loudness, the softness was there brilliantly. So you used that vocal variety tool brilliantly and back it up with humor. And that humor was enhanced in that with your message which you gave. Don't just look around. Look at what you have to do rather than what you have others to see what they have to do. So there's two things which came up with the humor and the message. Now what did you do which could have made your speech better? Made that Bajaj Chetak gallop like a Chetak or like a gallop like a Tufan. The one thing which I thought you could have done better was use pitch. Now what happens, what is pitch? The shrillness of your voice. And that's an essential analysis of your vocal variety. So when you talked about how might we use some sounds like that? Might we talk about the Bajaj Chetak, it moved around like that. So you're trying to bring about that entire sound which paints a entire picture rather than just a body movement. And also, might we could have done the pace as I gallop forward, to walk, gallop and all. And I saw you got confused in the middle when you talked about walking, galloping, etc. So might we use more pace, bring it a little faster, a little slower. And finally, I thought we should have tied it up together at the end. Act 1, scene 1, Act 1, scene 2, Act 2, scene 1. But what was the relevance of that? Might be at the end you say, in Act 1, scene 1, I saw the others' marks. In Act 2, scene 1, I saw my father. And in Act 2, scene 1, I saw others' horses. But all of them made me see others. Again, there was no relevance to that. But finally, for a brilliant speech with lot of humor and a great message, you deserve a big round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajdeep, for using all the facets of his speech to give his evaluation. I mustn't forget to congratulate the table topic master who had topics I have not heard in a very, very, very long time. I must say, they're fantastic topics, and he did take my suggestion of saying the topic, calling the person, and giving the topic again, so people don't lose out. And another good thing he did was bring in all the people who have not had a chance ever to speak. A lot of them, and he also laced it with a few senior people. So he kept the main thing, it's the main thing, and I know the main thing is I'll have to stop soon. So let's hear from the timer, Dr. Nisha.
Hello, I'm back. I'm happy to report all our speakers were incredibly punctual and they stuck to their allotted time like glue. Except for our few Toastmasters who finished before time. That is Toastmaster Bhavna, she took 0.45 seconds. Toastmaster Saloni, she took 0.30 seconds. This is the table topic speakers. And Toastmaster Vishal, 0.53 seconds. We have a president Toastmaster Shashank, who spoke for 7 minutes 21 seconds, and Toastmaster Kolapan took 2 minutes 11 seconds. Rest all really adhered to the time.
It is not about the timers report over here, but a lot of the evaluators, when they read out the speech evaluation, they say, timer, please note the time given allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. I think that can be avoided. And also, many evaluators, before they say, and all the best to the speaker, like we are not wishing the speaker all the best to the speaker. I think that also should be avoided. Let's hear from the art counter.
Presenting the fitness report for the day, for the language. Out of the 70 to 100 seconds we've been here, about 60 seconds were taken up by crutch words, by pauses, which means we've lost a minute. So, and most Toastmasters have aligned to the given functions, and we did not have crutch words or pauses over and above 5. Except for TM Aditya, who had it at 6. So, the words that gained sweet spot among the crowd today were like, so, maybe, okay, and and Bruno. And congratulations to the Toastmasters who ran the marathon without a fuss. Toastmaster Jeevan, Toastmaster Somshekhar, Toastmaster Puneet, Toastmaster Chaitra, Toastmaster Brian, to name a few. I'm sorry if I had missed out on a few others, running short of time. So that's it for the day.
In fact, I think she just included people who did the marathon without. I don't think it's right. You need to improve your listening skills. Let's hear it from the grammarian.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I will start with the not so good usages of the English language. This word could have been these words. Think myself could have been think of myself. Forgot to told could have been forgot to tell. Didn't knew could have been didn't know. Coming to the good usages, we had more good usages today than not so good usages, so that's something that we should look forward to. We have judicious, sculpting my body, metamorphosis, benevolence, swayed in my mind, wall of snow, big backs, we were distraught, losers see pain, winners see gain. I like that personally. Wind blowing through us, laced it. And coming to the word of the day, if I'm not wrong, it was used by Toastmaster Girish and Toastmaster Srinivas only. I'm sorry if I missed out on anyone else that did use it. That's the word.
Before I forget, the password for voting is 1392. 1392. So before I leave this stage, thank the committee for giving me this opportunity. And since the theme of this term is Together We Evolve, I have a suggestion for the committee that if we have to evolve, looking at how we're going forward, I think we need to brief the tag team before the meeting, because I found that they're all doing it for maybe the first or the second time, and they did not know exactly what they had to do. It's a good idea to call them one-on-one and brief them. Because I've seen Priyanka evolve. In fact, when she called me up, I looked at my SMS and I have it over here, 28th February 2019. She sent me a message, Priyanka here, I've spoken to you last Friday regarding my interest in joining Toastmasters. That was 28th February 2019. I said, yeah, please call and speak to Karunakar, who is the VP membership. With that, I had enjoyed myself at this meeting, and I believe what Toastmaster Somshekhar said in the WhatsApp group. I truly believe this will be a fantastic meeting. It's back to now the Toastmaster.
Another round of applause. And general evaluator, he stuck to the time. That's great. At the beginning of the meeting, I said spending 120 minutes here is just so valuable. Very sure each one of us has got something to take home, right? So with that note, I would also like to thank all the role takers today. In the history of this club, whenever I was a Toastmaster, it has never happened this way that the list which is published here last Sunday, it remained the same even today.
Yeah.
So great job. We come to the meeting, we erase it, at least someone in the tag team there is a change. But no, look at the team which was published. Alright? Okay, with that note, I hand over the meeting back to our President, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Somshekhar. Can we have a round of applause to all the role takers in the party? Before we move on to awards, two quick announcements. As we move to the month of September, it's renewals time for people who haven't renewed their memberships yet. We have time till the 30th of September to make the payment. For more details, our treasurer will reach out to you shortly with the banking details. This is for the members who have not renewed for the term October to March. Moving on to the awards, I will start with the best table topic speaker award. It goes to DTM Vijayanand. The best evaluator award goes to DTM Rajdeep Manwani. The best auxiliary role taker, the tag team player, goes to Toastmaster Vasavi. The best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Ankit Kumar. And the best role taker award for this evening goes to Toastmaster Somshekhar. Thanks again for taking time of your busy schedules and attending the meeting today. I hope you are taking away some bit of it from today's meeting. Wish you a safe journey back home. I now adjourn meeting number 1392.